The Joe Rogan Experience.
So how long did how long did you sit on this story? How long did you know about this? And what was the process of having this sort of build in your mind to the point where you wanted to write it, direct it, produce it, cast it?
Honestly, I read the book exactly 20 years ago. I read it in the fall of '99 when I was when Fight Club came out. That's right around the time as I read this novel, Motherless Brooklyn. But the novel's about the Tourettic detective who's trying to solve the murder of his only friend, basically. But it takes place in the 90s. It's not about any of that stuff about New York in the 50s or anything. It's just – and the character is just amazing, though, like amazing. So when I read it, the hook was the character. I was like, what a great character. It's such a wild – he's like just this hot mess of he's smart, but he's totally messed up. He's funny, but also really it's pretty painful and lonely, and it was just everything. And I was like, I could get so into trying to figure that out. For reasons that are a little hard to explain, the tone of the book feels like a 50s detective novel, but it's set in the modern world, and I was afraid in a movie that would feel a little bit like the Blues Brothers. Like guys in fedoras, but a Prius is floating by, and so you're sort of like, maybe this would just be cooler if we set it in the 50s. And I talked to the author about that, and he was super into those movies, and so he said, okay.
Wow.
So then the middle period was the period of mashing that up with these sort of stories, the New York Chinatown kind of it, the deep, dark history of what really went on in New York, and that took a long time. And then I had it ready in 2012. I was really ready to go, and I just couldn't get it I couldn't get – Bruce said he was in, and that was kind of angry, but I couldn't get everyone I wanted together at the same time, and I couldn't get the amount of money I needed or that I thought I wanted, and I couldn't get a studio to back it. Because honestly, number one, like I'm not like a green light anything he does kind of an actor. It's just, I think that's a different sort of thing. But also I was out there saying it's sort of like Rain Man meets LA Confidential, and people's eyes just kind of cross. They're like, bring us the next one. Like, they're like, we don't get it. We don't get it. We don't get, it's like, and also I had this idea of I love Radiohead and I like jazz, and I wanted to I got Tom York to write a song for the film, but I got Wynton Marsalis to do all the jazz and stuff. And people were they were like, these things are not going to go well together, and then they went to get, a lot of people have said to me, which is not, it's not me taking, a lot of people have said to me it's the best music in a film that they've heard in many, many years. Flea played trumpet and bass on Tom York's track in the film, and Flea's like a really good trumpet player, and his dad was a jazz musician, and
I didn't know that.
Flea came out of the movie crying. He was like, "That's honestly my favorite music that I've ever heard in a film," and I think but you can't tell people that you. I thought that would work. I thought this mashup would work because I knew Tom, and I knew he loves Charles Mingus, and I knew Wynton was capable of doing. He's really interested in dissonant, weird, edgier kind of modernist music as well. And I was like, this is going to work, and it did. It's really, the music's amazing in the film. It's like its own. Like the record's out now, and people are flipping out about just the music, and the movie hasn't even come out yet.
With such a crazy combination of factors and details that you smashed all together.
Yeah.
And it's got to feel, first of all, it's got to be a tremendous relief, and also feel amazing that you did it.
I do feel that. I feel like it would have haunted me. And it was rattling around in my head such a long time. I felt very discouraged about it at times. Because I was kind of like, I've done a few okay things. Like, I've done some stuff that was weird and that people didn't understand, and it's it's come together pretty great. You know what I mean? And you sort of go, God, I never expect anybody to give me money to make something. Like that's just risky. Like I would never put money into making movies. Never. Like it's too risky, you know? And I get it. So I'm not like, I deserve this. Like, but it was more like, sometimes I was just like, am I going to be able to figure this out or not? Am I going to get this done? And I think getting it done and having it, not having quit on it, and in some ways feeling, not actually knowing that it's better that I made it now. I know more. I was more. If I'd tried to do it 20 years ago, I didn't have the chops to do some of the things, like working with Spike Lee and Alejandro Inarritu and people like that. Really, like it upped my sense of how to do. I learned a lot about how to do a big thing without all the money in the world.
Now, this is released nationwide, worldwide. Like when it's released on this Friday, right?
Yeah, this Friday.
It's everywhere.
Day after tomorrow.
Broad
all
release?
over America. Yeah, yeah. It's a wide release here. I hope. Yeah, and I think honestly, like the day it comes out, like you can either see Terminator like 9.11 or ours. There's like not, and I like certify on the Joe Rogan Experience, like there's not a grown-up human being who will not be stoked about this film. Like I can say that people who are seeing it are very, very, very into it and very bought in, because it is one of those like it's a big meal, but it's a really rich, good meal, and it has amazing performances. I don't think Alec Baldwin has ever been better in a movie, honestly. And I think Willem Dafoe is amazing. Michael K. Williams is amazing, and the music is great, and it's a cool story. And I think it's kind of one of those things that it's worth going to the theater to see. But I guarantee you, it's more worth your time than another Terminator movie.
Well, it sounds like it to me. I'm really excited about it, and I will see it for
Thank
sure.
you.